What's going on, runners? 2 days ago, I just ran the Calgary Marathon. Here's my medal. Here's my bib. Number 711. And I managed to run it in 3 hours, 15 minutes, and 10 seconds. If you've been watching my videos, maybe you know the past 20 weeks of training have been for a goal of sub 3.5 hours, which was very realistic looking back on it now. But honestly, it really shocked me. So I kind of want to just take a moment, and just kind of analyze and talk about how the marathon actually went and what I'm going to do next time. Next year is probably going to be my next marathon. So if you guys didn't know, it was the Calgary Marathon. It was such a good event. It was kind of all over Calgary, and then a bit of an out and back along the river up into the Bowness area, starting from downtown nearby where the new arena is being built, and then it finished in NMAX Park. I'll put up a screenshot of the map so you guys can see. But yeah, I don't really know where to start, so I guess I'll just start with the pacing. There's all my pacing kind of stuff. I heard a lot of people saying if you go out too fast early, then you're gonna definitely regret it. So my first 3 kilometers I kept at it was a 5-minute pace ish, and then I kind of slowly got faster after that. Going into it, I knew I needed to keep my heart rate below 170 for the first half. So I was really focused on kind of just checking my watch every kilometer or a few times every kilometer, just to make sure, gotta keep that heart rate down, otherwise it's not gonna be good. If you're a runner and you want to meet other runners, maybe even meet up in person, I've started a school group you can join. I'll leave the link below, and I hope to see you in there. After the halfway point though, I started to get a bit faster, and I think it was around kilometer 23. I saw my parents. They were cheering for me from the side, and ahead of time I told them can you guys tell me what pacer I'm right behind, because I could see kind of in the distance I could see a pacer. He had a big flag on his back, but I just couldn't see what number he had on it. I knew it wasn't the 330 pacer or the 325 pacer, because I was kind of ahead of them for the entire race pretty much. So I'm okay, what racer could it be? And so I passed them, and my mom was yelling, 320, it's the 320 pacer. So I'm oh my god, this is actually insane. So around the halfway point, I was already ahead of where I needed to be for the original goal. So then I'm okay, looks like we're going sub 320 around kilometer 27, which was kind of you got to the place where you turn around. After I turned around, I ran a couple kilometers on the back. I eventually did pass him, and after that point, I think I did actually pick it up to about a 4:30 pace coming home. And guys, literally when you get to kilometer 30 to 30 to 40, the pain cave is actually so real. But I use that as a way of motivating me, because there were signs, there were some actually crazy signs, but one of my favorite ones that I saw was pain is temporary, Strava is forever. So I'm all right, I have to keep pushing it. And I mean, there was also a sign that had the Mario Kart mushroom, and it said tap here to power up. So I hit a couple of those signs, and it actually did kind of speed me up a bit. But after getting to kilometer 32, after that point, I was okay, I got 12 kilometers left. I just got to keep pushing it. And then once I got to kilometer 37, I told my dad ahead of time, or kind of when I saw him, I was at kilometer 37, I'm going to try and do an all-out 5K, which, I mean, went pretty good, but after you've already run 37 kilometers, your all-out effort is a lot different than what you think it will be, because I was like, I'm gonna try and rub like a sub 20-minute 5K, but that actually did not end up doing that. It was not really that close, but it was still like a very fast 5K, in my opinion. And I think after that point, I just kept getting faster and faster, because I knew if I can leave it all out here, I was doing the math in my head and I was like, oh my god, I might actually be able to go like somewhere around 3 hours 15 minutes. And my finish time was, like I said, 3 hours 15 minutes and 10 seconds, which I'm actually super happy with that result. This is actually my marathon t-shirt, guys. But yeah, like, it's just absolutely crazy. I would have never thought like that a marathon would be like so much fun, or like so there's so many things, different things that I felt during that marathon. Like, it's insane. When your feet start to hurt and your thighs and your calves are just kind of begging you to stop, but you push through it and you keep going because you know, like, it's either now or never. It's a different type of pain, and it's a different type of like feeling that you just like don't really understand. And once you're done the marathon, it's like, for me, it was like literally the hardest thing I've done in my entire life. But saying that, looking back on it, it was definitely something that I'm so happy I actually did. I was going to do it last year, but the marathon was like before my birthday. It was like a couple days before, and that was my 16th birthday. And you have to be 16 to run the marathon. So this year, I turned 17 the day I was actually running the marathon. So it was like a birthday marathon. But honestly, like, literally there was no other day I'd rather run a marathon on other than my birthday. Like, it was so well run. It was so exciting. It was so much fun. And like literally the last like 2 kilometers, like, people were cheering and you could not help but get absolutely hyped up and just really give it your best. And then like the last 0.3 kilometers, I saw my aunts and my cousins. They came to watch, and I pointed at them as I was running. And going home, that last like 0.3 kilometers was like, it was under 4-minute pace, which I'm actually really happy about. That was like an all-out effort in the moment. It was just so exciting. Next year, I'm setting the goal right now. I'm going to try to qualify for Boston, because that's when I'll be eligible to actually do it. Because if I qualify for it in May, if I run the time I need to run in May, then the following one, which will be the 2028 Boston Marathon, I could actually have a shot at like getting in. So that is the goal for the next marathon, and I think I could actually like do it. I'll need to put in a hell of a training block. About, I don't even know, but I'm definitely going to sign up for the Calgary Marathon next year, and I'm going to give it my all to try and qualify for Boston. So we'll see how that goes when it comes around. I'll probably start making videos about that when it comes. But for now, that is the end of me absolutely just yapping about my marathon. What's next? What is after this marathon? I have a 10K in July, and then I'm going to run the Edmonton half marathon, because you have to be, how old do you have to be? 18. You have to be 18 to run the Edmonton marathon, which is kind of weird. 16 Calgary, 18 in Edmonton. It's kind of weird, but it's okay. I'll do the Edmonton one, the full, next year probably. My cousin might be joining me for the half marathon, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Maybe my brother too. I might be able to convince him. Those are the next events coming up, so I'll probably start making some videos about that soon. I want to probably try and go sub 40 minutes in the 10K, or somewhere around 40 minutes. Hopefully we can set a PR that day. And then the marathon, I want to try and hold the Boston pace, so about an hour and a half, somewhere around there. Anything like close to that, I'll be like extremely proud of and really happy with. But yeah, that is like the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.